In all history, probably no nation has tried more passionately or more thoughtfully to avoid fighting than the United States had tried to avoid the present war against Japan and Germany. During the years 1930 to 1940, the nation was preoccupied with internal difficulties, with problems of distribution and production not impossible of solution, but requiring thought and trial and error, and some conflict. It is not possible to know whether a solution could have been reached, nor how soon it could have been reached. But during that period, when a direction had not been set, nor an end established, a generation of young men and young women were kept marking time, not knowing where they were going. In fact, concerned only with keeping alive until some direction was established toward which they could go. Young men coming out of the schools, finding no jobs, no goals, became first despondent and then cynical. A curious and muscling state of mind which was considered intellectual despair, but which was actually the product of mental and physical idleness, descended upon the youth of the country. The young people were not unlike those clots of boys who hang around the fronts of pool rooms waiting for something to happen. An anarchy of thought and action had in fact settled over the young people of the country. An antidote for the poisons of this idleness and indirection might eventually have been found, some great building program for the betterment of the country, some economic direction or trend to tear away the lethargy. But meanwhile, with one set of certainties gone and no new set established, the country floundered about. Floundered about, in fact, so convincingly that our enemies considered us to be in a dying condition. Because we were uncertain, we tried to avoid the thought of war and the means of war and the preparation for war. Some of our leaders wished to cut the world in half, to defend this hemisphere against the other, while others thought it would be good business and good thinking to give England the weapon to fight the war for us. Perhaps the future will show that we were very fortunate and that we were not being permitted to use either of these methods for the war. Our arguments and disunity might have kept us ineffective or only partly effective until it was too late. But Germany and Japan were bound to blunder sooner or later, and blunder they did. In attacking us, they destroyed their greatest ally, our sluggishness, our selfishness, and our disunity. The attack on us set in motion the most powerful species drive we know, that of survival. It created direction toward which we could aim all of our vitalities, and we have great vitality. What the Axis could not understand was that the measure of our unrest was the measure of our vitality. The war was dumped into our laps. We could not avoid it. But fortunately for us, we have been given a kind of war we are peculiarly capable of fighting. A war without established technique or method. A kind of war rooted in production, in which we surpass. If we ourselves had chosen the kind of war to be fought, we could not have found one more suitable to our national genius. For this is a war of transport, of machines, of mass production, of flexibility, and of inventiveness. And in each of these fields, we have been pioneers, if not actual inventors. With the very techniques required for this war, our people explored a continent, and peopled it, and developed it, threw rails across it, drove highways north and south, burrowed for metals, and dammed rivers for power. And the energy and versatility and initiative which developed this continent have not died. Perhaps some of our difficulty before the beginning of this war was caused by the aliveness and the versatility and initiative without the goal.